Today's advice video is going to be about how I don't need a boot camp to get you laid. I can get you laid without a boot camp. I know that's impossible for most dating coaches. But let's look at the scoreboard, shall we? Looks like possibly they might have 7 Indian lay testimonials. I'll update it. Not a lot. I'll match testimonial for testimonial. No problem. So I'll post another 20 of them. And of course, self-proclaimed high lay count guy. 3 lay testimonials for Daygame. I have the most effective, efficient, effortless, elite Daygame system in the world. I'm nearly at 500 lay poll testimonials. This is the 496 lay poll testimonials. I got even more from another Taiwanese student. So before anyone claims that their system is optimized, in what regard are we talking about optimized? Do you find white Spaniards, white Argentinian, white Latinas? John, do you find you mean like women? Yeah, I do. I'm really into Latinas. So, but that's the funny thing. So that's what I want to talk about today, because a Spanish student has gotten laid with a white woman from America. She traveled to Spain and he fucked her. I know they're not the same. So let's talk about his testimonial, shall we? Let's listen to it. I changed the voice. So that way you cannot recognize him. So let's listen to his testimonial before we begin.
Hi, I'm 5'5", no muscles.
He sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay, and I only use fashion, and I got the night lay thanks to the Elite Bundle, which is Elite 30 product plus Elite Playbook, and I also got Elite Access. So John helped me a lot. I'm 5'5", as I said, no muscles, and I got the results that I wanted. So I'm really, really happy. Thanks to John. He appreciates his students a lot. He does a lot for them. He has helped me a lot. And, well, I just wanted to say thank you, John, for everything you've done. And for anyone watching this video, just listen to what he says, because he's very good at what he does. And you're going to get your results 100% sure. Okay? So that's it. It was a same night lay. I was with a girl in a park. At a park, because it wasn't like a very deep park with a lot of forests. I mean, with a lot of.
He had sex with her, and she was in public too.
Or anything. It was just like an ordinary park with some benches. She's American, and she was listening to some music on the speakers with her friends. And I just asked for a direction and started shutting her up. Then we started dancing, and only with Elite 30. Elite 30, that's all I needed. I got a same night lay. And then I got another lay after a few days when she came to my place. So, yeah, it's hard to believe when it happens, but it happens, and it's life-changing, really. And thanks to John, I could keep calm at all times. So don't worry if you think that, when you get a lay, you're going to fuck up or get too excited or something. It's not like, nothing's going to go wrong, because John is there to help you, and he cares a lot about his students. So that's all. Thank you so much, John, and hopefully, if for anyone watching this, I hope you will get the results that you deserve. And that's it. Bye. Hi, I wanted to say also that I'm Spanish. I've been in several parts of Europe, and especially in the UK, because that's where I studied, which is the reason why I have sometimes a bit of a British accent, if I so want. But I decided to speak with my normal accent, which sometimes it's like a mix between Spanish and the American accent. Um, but yeah, I got a weird mix of accents. But I speak Spanish. Soy español. In other words, I'm not white because I'm from Spain, Europe. Okay. I wasn't born a proper white Anglo-Saxon person. Um, y bueno, pues soy español y John me ha ayudado mucho.
Hmm.
Y quería decir que hermanos latinos y españoles, unidos al coaching de John, porque es algo que merece mucho la pena. Y bueno, eso es todo. Él les puede ayudar con todo. Y no hay ningún problema. Si estás en un país de habla hispana, se puede hacer lo que tú quieras, en realidad. O sea, no hay ningún límite. Todo sale bien, al final. And that's all I wanted to say. Okay. So, best wishes and bye.
Thank you very much. That was just one of the testimonials. 5'5", guys. He's living the Spanish dream. Latinos, Spanish people love white girls. Yeah, they can get Latinas, but he banged a white girl. He's done this without boot camp too, which he wants to take a boot camp in the future. And that's what I want to talk about because boot camps waste a lot of your money. A lot of your money will go down the fucking drain. You know, this is about how much a boot camp costs. About $5,600 for 7 days, while they geomax you in certain places that are easier, like New York or somewhere in Europe or Las Vegas. Geomaxing. And that's the problem. Because how they do all this? How do they fuck you up? So how does John get students laid without boot camp? I know it seems impossible because most people will funnel you into a long 6-month program of bullshit, or they'll funnel you into a boot camp because their products don't fucking work for Daygame. That's what's happening recently. So when you buy their Daygame product during COVID-19, you get no lays. They have no lay testimonials behind it. So I was a Daygame coach trying to get as many lay testimonials so I don't have to go through them one at a time through a boot camp. I'm wearing like a poncho or something right now. Let me just take this off. It's getting kind of hot. You're like, what? It's a Spanish poncho or a Mexican poncho. So see that? There it is. John, stop cultural appropriating other people from different races. I can't help it. Give it a thumbs up for the poncho. All right. I really wanted to make people understand I can get you laid in Daygame without a boot camp. I'm the only one in the whole world as a Daygame coach who can get you laid without boot camp. If you look at all my programs, Elite Access, Kaizen, 3 months to proficiency, Tech Scheme for minorities. Every single program has lay testimonials, including my new one, which I'll talk about near the end. The newest program is called Mental Trauma Relief for Pickup Artists during COVID-19. I'll talk about this soon because I already have a new student who's Latino, good-looking guy, 6'1". I won't go into any details of his life. But yes, I have students from all over the entire fucking world. So, how you get someone laid through Instagram? There's 6 algorithms my student uses. This is not public information. But when the woman sees it, of course, you got these stupid self-proclaimed high lay count guys just saying, oh, you should not post Instagram because the women will find a picture they don't like and therefore they'll dismiss you. But if one of them, they don't like it, but they like the other 5 of the algorithm, then it's the fix and flank and ambush. And her mind already switches. That's what I taught them in the Tech Scheme for Minority program. I secretly taught them how to build their Instagram. Same with the Inner Circle. That also has a lot of testimonials. Every program I have has laid testimonials. So it's not all game, it's beyond game. And every student lives all over the world. So when they claim, oh, I got minorities laid in so many countries, no, I got them laid in every fucking continent. This guy's in Spain. Other students are in Asia. There are other students in Australia. There are students in London. There are students in Europe. There are students in Canada. There are students in the United States. You give free course to the website. I saw your website. You give free course for Asians, right? No, that's just an Asian sensation sampler course. It's free. So it doesn't cost you anything. It's just to give you a sample, kind of like saying, I want to help my fellow Asians. It's the least I can do. So having said that, since I have students all over the world, I have students laid in Asia, like everywhere, every continent you can think of, I've gotten them laid there. So my system works everywhere. Elite 30 and Elite Playbook is universal. And during COVID-19, my course is the only one that actually has Daygame lay testimonials. Well, Self-Proclaimed High Lay Count Guy course has 2, but that's it. His 8-week mentorship program only has 1. So funnels do not work without the Instagram 6 algorithms. Let me continue. I'm the only one Daygame coach who can get you laid before 6 months. It's like the thing, so I don't have to fleece the sheeps like other dating coaches who makes products that doesn't even work for Daygame. While making you worship their subscriber count, there's social proof. So you think by them having more subscribers, you automatically believe that they are more credible, like RSD and other people. I have less than 1,000 subscribers. Really, less than 1,000. It's impossible, John. Yeah, I have 840, 860, somewhere like that. That's it. But it's already more than almost 500 lay poll testimonials. I did not cross over the 500 mark before the end of 2001. My students are trying to help me get as many as possible. Even another Taiwanese student got 2 more lays. So he's up to 3 lays. 1 same day lay, 2 more lays right before New Year's, which is amazing. The Taiwanese guy. Red pill coaches thinks only 20% high value man gets laid in your. No, it's bullshit. It's all 20 out of 35. Looks is out of 10. Money is out of 5. Yeah, money is out of 5. This is what dating coaches love. They just love your money. They just sniff the money. They're just like, oh yeah, I just love money. That's exactly the price of a boot camp, which you'd be wasting in their fucking boot camps. That's exactly 5,600 right here. But money's out of 5. Status is out of 10, including your perceived natural status or race. Social skills is 2.5. Social calibration is another 2.5. That's 5 points right there. Emotional control, 2.5 points, in game is 2.5. That's right. Their game is only like 1 point or 1.5. So they emote. You know, they move their Negro face trying to emote. They're not even congruent. By emoting, they're hoping to get another point so they can get over that line because they already look like a positive stereotype race. And they're geomaxing too on top of everything at certain locations. So even if you got results in their boot camps, you have to look at the formula, how they fleeced the sheeps, which I'll be talking about. So you should not just believe subscriber count on the YouTube because this already debunks it. I have the most lay testimonials in Daygame in the world. I'll match testimonial for testimonial. But I have so few subscribers. What the fuck? So that has nothing to do with it. It's complete bullshit. Even though I have the most lay testimonials in the world, subscriber count doesn't matter. I wanted to be able to unbrainwash people from other dating coaches, what I call fleecing the sheeps, a new concept. Fleecing the sheeps with their confusing Daygame products, which doesn't even work. Then you worship them. They have 0 lay testimonials for their Daygame fucking product. So you automatically take their boot camp while you're making them a lot more money because they designed the courses not to work. It is called fleecing the sheeps. They know what they're doing. And the sad thing is that there are some Daygame coaches or dating coaches out there without any sort of late testimonials for their product. That's the scary thing. And there's nothing for their boot camp either. Is it more important than coming across charismatic? You know, the last Chinese guy that said, John, is it charisma? Is it charm? Charisma? Charisma is only for like emotions. But because you're trying to be too charismatic and you're trying, because you lack social skills, you try and use charisma to compensate. But because this is evolutionary psychology out there, a pandemic, you're effectively putting yourself in the out tribe. There's an in tribe and out tribe. The in tribe has social skills. This is why my students dominate one late testimonial after another. When you try to act like the out tribe with, oh, I'm so overconfident, like the Asian, the Vietnamese, or Chinese students with charm, John, charisma, you're like a fucking Asian carp, an invasive species, and saying, we demand equality, we're confident, or charm. Fuck you. Charisma has, you will not get laid with charisma. You look at Charisma King or Craprisma King. You look at his Asian late testimonial. The guy says he became a beast. He didn't get laid. He became a beast, whatever the fuck that means. So they're scamming you. They use carefully words like you're going to level up. You're going to become a beast. You're going to crush it. All these things does not mean that your dick goes inside a fucking vagina. So if charisma is the worst advice that anyone can give. None of my students are charismatic. They're not even charismatic. So if they have zero late testimonials and they have zero for the boot camp, and the dating coaches are status maxing, you know, and I could get more late testimonials by getting you laid faster. But that's the thing, the dumb zombies automatically trust the higher subscriber count as trustworthy for the YouTube videos. Also, they believe that you can't get laid without boot camp, which is bullshit. A lot of my students did not get laid through a boot camp, but I do have a lot of boot camp students who got laid. Almost every single one since I was John Wayne till now have gotten laid or pulled, except for 3 fucking zombies. 2 Asian carps and 1 short black guy without unteachable case. Cortisol fuck. But everyone got laid or pulled. So what does that tell you? Everything I teach works. But that's the funny thing. So that all of this means I cannot unbrainwash people from other dating coaches, fleecing their sheeps with their confusing Daygame product, which doesn't work. Then you worship them when they have zero late testimonials for their products. So you automatically take a boot camp, effectively making the dating coach more fucking money. Let alone get more late testimonials by getting late. You know, that's how I get more testimonials. And let's listen to a testimonial from an Indian student that just got laid recently. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hi, I am one of John Elite's students. I am Indian American. I am 5'5", and I'm from the United States. John Elite was talking about me in his last video. I took self-proclaimed high lay counts 8-week mentorship, and I got no results from it. He then tried to upsell me with another mentorship, which is 6 months, and it's $1,500 a month. I didn't do that though. He had other students that didn't get results, and a lot of his students wanted a refund. This is 100% true at the time. I also took a bootcamp with RSD Tyler. That was a complete joke. He would have 12 students on the bootcamp.
Remember, this student is also 5'5", like the Spanish guy. They're both the same height. That short. Even shorter than me.
With only 3 instructors. Tyler took 6 students and would try and approach with them, even though it was supposed to be a 3 student to 1 instructor ratio. Tyler didn't give much instruction. He would be late to the boot camp with no excuse, and he wouldn't give much instruction. he would just be doing mostly his own thing most of the time. And yeah, not really helping the students much, if at all. And after the boot camp, I talked to the other students. Not one person said that the boot camp was worth it. And not any of them said they would take another boot camp with RSD. And a lot of people said they could do the same thing by themselves. And then I went to John Elite because a lot of his students got results. And I saw that he had a lot of testimonials with, with them getting results. John, he told me to shave the sides of my beard. He picked a specific pair of pants, and he told me to get a haircut of his choice. And with his instructions and me following his rules, I was able to get a lay in 9 days of the program, and then also a lay in 11 days of the program.
Mm.
And one of the lays was through online game, and another lay was through a social circle gathering. If you are an Asian or a minority, I highly recommend John's training. He has helped a lot of minorities, and he can help you out too. Thank you for listening.
Here's his update. Let's listen to it.
Hello, everyone. I am the 5'5" Indian student that John refers to.
Hopefully you can hear
I made
it.
a video testimonial saying I got 2 lays before with John Elite. I just wanted to update that and say that I got 3 additional lays with John Elite. And I got these lays because John helped me with my hairstyle, my posture, my text game, my fashion, my objection dealing, and facial expressions. Previously, I worked with high self lay count guy, and all his tactics and dating tips did not work for me. They may have worked for taller Indian students, but didn't really work for me since I am shorter. And if I got leads before, nothing happened till John had fixed my fashion and objection dealing and pulling in the bedroom. John doesn't count these as lay testimonials because they were from online game, but I just wanted to add it to the testimonials. And I wanted to say that everyone should take John Elite Access because it helped me and it can help you too. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, in the future, I'm not letting students that have lower than for the LMS plus skills in game. If it's less than not 20 or 35, if it's less than 10, you should not be here until after the pandemic because you're gonna struggle. So, oh, it's a. Are you? That looks like Russian or Ruski. Здравствуйте. Меня зовут John Elite. So, anyways, don't mind that. Sometimes I go right into Russian mode. Спасибо. Компот. Сука билет. Okay. Next time, I'm gonna wear like a fucking tracksuit, like a Slav, or like a what do they call it? The Russian people, they just squat all day. Slav. Are they a lost cause? Is that why you? I don't reject them, but I'm noticing that their mindsets are kind of fucked. So for now, in good conscience, I cannot accept people because the speed of implementation necessary for Johnny Lee access. This student took Johnny Lee access, both of them, but because he's Indian, he still has a 4 out of 10 perceived natural status. But because he looks a little bit like a Latino, he has like a 6 right now. Same with the Spanish student. But the Spanish student banged a white girl. In case you guys missed it in the beginning of YouTube Live, I was playing his testimonial how this Spanish guy got.
Hi.
I'll get back into that. I can show you the picture later on so you can see for yourself of the screenshot. But yes, he just got laid recently. Let's continue. I have a lot to get through. To make matters Oh yeah, today I didn't bleach my hair out, so you can see the white hairs everywhere. I'm not 25 years old, despite what you guys think. I had a beard all white here, but you know, nobody's perfect. I'm aging. I've been coaching for more than 10 years now. I've been a PUA since I was in 2001. I was actually the first day gamer in the world for a pickup artist type. The late guide was originally a night game guide. I used it for university when I was taking a course for, art. I thought I was going to be an artist. I really did. Let me tilt this microphone a little bit more this way. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I'm using a louder voice. To make matters worse, I felt terrible because I have the cure and they have the long, drawn out fucking treatment. I felt even worse about the situation because I could get them laid with just my products and Skype. I mean, use your fucking Skypes, assholes. If they just do the 30-day challenge of Elite 30, I felt like these zombies are easily manipulated by other dating coaches with higher subscriber counts. The problem was that these Asian carps, these RSD zombies, they shut off their fucking mind without any critical thinking. They think, oh, boot camps are the only solution, right? No, it's a fucking treatment that costs you exactly $5,600, and I can get you laid for a lot less than that. Because the more fucking laid testimonials I get, the more I can post them, and the more students I get. Which means they don't understand it isn't all tactics or strategy, but habits. Not tactics, but habits. Not tactics, but habits of Elite 30 from Hard Case to Hero or Elite Playbook. This has to be drilled down in the mirror until it's second nature so you can get laid without many approaches. So in case that you practice in front of the mirror, let's say you did 100 times in front of the mirror doing the 30-day challenge, like a ninja game. Then on your 101th approach, you might get a same-day lay, but you get to readjust yourself to correct the issues in front of the mirror. So, have you heard of leg things? It's done a lot in India. Have you researched it? Could it be better than using platforms? I would recommend you use elevator shoes. Do not fucking do that unless it's really necessary. Because during a pandemic, I have a lot of good-looking students. They still struggle. We're tall black guys. Because it's all about 20 out of 35. It's a zero-sum game. You guys are not fucking getting it. Here, let me get a sword for you so I can make my fucking point. Here's a samurai sword. All right? A samurai is not as strong as a ninja is not as strong as a samurai. This is like you, a negative stereotype, shorter. When you're a ninja, you have to practice 10 times the amount compared to a samurai. A samurai will have a game sword. A samurai will be like game, flirt, push-pull, flirt, strategy, tactic, autism. And they believe in the past what they call the fail-safe. They believe that if you're below 5'9" and you're 5'8", you will have to make 200 more approaches than before. And then you get laid. If you're 5'7", that's 400 more approaches. If you're 5'6", that's 600 more approaches. If you're 5'5", like this student, that's 800 approaches extra without using my game. So they were thinking they can just samurai that shit with some flirts out there and try and be charismatic, cocky, funny, flirting with charm, like a fucking Asian carp. But that worked before the pandemic. It does not actually work anymore unless you're geomaxing. Have you heard about Tom Torero? Yeah, I mean, good riddance. In fact, that day I was so happy. I was celebrating. So, like, you might be thinking, well, John, you should be more empathetic. That guy killed himself. One of my students nearly killed himself using London Daygame, my London student who has a Spanish girlfriend who's a model who is like fucking 9.5 out of 10. Better looking than self-proclaimed high leg count guys, women's. Like he banged his sister, he banged her sister too. 10 fuck buddies, 5 some without Tinder. But he nearly died. He was about to kill himself at the end of the month using London Daygame and Todd V shit, which is 3 lay testimonials tied with self-proclaimed high lay count guys course for Daygame. So they just use a samurai sword and they just swing it with push-pull, teasing like London Daygame. Self-amusement story is fucking bullshit. Challenging. It's just more fucking swinging the sword. So ninjas need to practice 10 times the amount in front of the mirror so they can correct it. Nobody wants to listen to this because you've never heard this from other dating coaches before. You wonder, why does my students get laid within like 1 to 3 approaches for all the other YouTube lives? Because they practice in front of a fucking mirror. They're a ninja. Ninjas are lower SMV guys who needs to build points for their social skills and social calibrations to get that 5 extra points. They can't swing the fucking game sword. Their game is only like 1 fucking 2.5. And they emote a little bit. Just emote, push, pull, flirt, swing, swing, swing. Fuck that. It's not going to work for you. This fail safe, that 200 extra approaches below 5'9" no longer exist. This is why even tall, good-looking students now need to learn social calibrations and social skills. You're not going to get any results. I've already monopolized all the results for Delta and Omicron. You're going to see more and more testimonials. Social skills, social calibration, John's secret sauce and Daygame. It is the most important. That's 5 points right there, guys. Holy shit, that's 5 points. But it takes 21 days to develop the ninja habits. Our brain is designed to practice something 21 days in a row before we can actually do it proficiently. If you miss more than 2 days, the Malinian sheath, it's like a jacket on top of your neurons. It builds, it gets stronger. So if you're practicing basketball, and a lot of these guys that swinging their sword, it's like throwing a basketball as hard as you can towards the hoop. Lay. They act like they're fucking virgins or something. So desperate. They believe that if they're out there, they're going to magically maybe play the numbers game and get laid. But this fail safe before COVID-19. Maybe the fail safe was still there for lockdown 1 and lockdown 2. But after lockdown 3 and Delta and Omicron, the fail safe has disappeared. Now you realize it's evolutionary psychology. You got to fit into her tribe. You got to fit into her tribe. Any sort of autism, high-fiving, Justin Wayne bullshit, it's going to ruin your life unless you're geo-maxing, which is not even going to work. Because I have a very good-looking Chinese student that used that style of game before. He's not going to get results. He switched over to my game. Now he's insta-dating like crazy. But the Taiwanese student already had the same day lay and 2 extra lays. You're like, holy shit. That's right. So this has to be drilled down in the mirror, which is why there's so many stupid zombies buying other day game coaches' courses, which doesn't even work, which is intentional. But the dumb sheeps refuse to believe it. They think that those dating coaches are on their side. No, motherfuckers. They're on the side of money. They love money. That's what they're into. Bootcamps makes the most money. Their 6 months online courses doesn't even fucking work well. And even if a student got laid, if he approached for 6 months, eventually something will happen. A lay will happen by default, but it's not because of the course. It's just a waste of their money because they're only teaching you game, not social skills, not social calibrations. And, by chance, something amazing happened. That's when I educated you guys that I can get you laid with my elite bundle with the Skypes. It will speed up your results. It's all about social calibrations and social skills, which beats game, the ninja method. The ninja method. But let's look at 2 more testimonials, but I'm only show you 1. Here's the Taiwanese student, all right? This is brand new. The public has never seen this before. Okay, so I'm going to fish for it. Hold on a second. I put it under the testimonial section. Remember, I didn't plan any of this. I just sort of felt like being on here today, even though I don't feel that good. Let's start with the first one. I'm going to only play one of them. The next YouTube Live, I'm going to play his testimonials. But let's hear the first one for his first same day lay, shall we? Hold on a second. Oh, come on. Oh, this program's kind of fucking up. I'll close. Open with. Okay, I'm using VLC. Let's see if please.
Hey guys, I wanted to share my experience with the Elite 30, especially during COVID-19, because that's the pretty important part that affected me. Dating before COVID, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. But after going through the Elite 30, pulling instant dates and even same day lays has been a lot easier. About 2 weeks in, I had a same day lay. We went on an instant date. We went shopping together. We basically spent the entire day together. And then she invited me over to her house, and we were giving each other massages, and then, kind of just went where it went. But even after that,
does this guy sound really charming, or does he sound like he is charisma? No. He's tall, decent looking, very masculine looking, but he's not charming. So what the fuck does that mean? Charm. No, he's skilled. He practiced in the mirror. He's skilled, man. He's a fucking ninja, even though he looks like a samurai. Now you guys are getting it. I feel like I should just put a bag over my head and work. No. You shouldn't do that. You should think about V-shaped body, because my other Chinese student who is really, really handsome, there's another guy. This is Taiwanese. He's ripped like Bruce Lee, but you can't see his muscles through his shirt. It needs to be V-shaped. Protector status, which is part of evolutionary psychology. So if they say like, oh, it's all muscles, it's all working out. No, it's not about taking steroids or bulking up. It's about showing your V-shaped body. And for me, I've gotten a lot bigger than before. So let's see what it looks like. So I'm a lot bigger than I used to be, for muscles. It's insane. It's like, so my whole body is much wider than before. So look at that. And you don't need steroids. If the dating coach tells you to take steroids, you tell him to go fuck himself. Because that's what they'll tell you. A lot of people in this industry would tell you to go on a cycle of steroids. This cannot be the solution for all Asian men. No. I'm not handsome, but I'm building the V shape. Yes. I need to cut weight. Yes, I have a student who is like a expert with longevity. I won't say who he is, but he works in a top lab in the world. He's given me some tips to cut weight, but I'm not going to share it with the public. So I did it today a little bit. So I got a little bit rid of that fat over here just by today. It was here, but it's gone. So good. It's good. So intermittent fasting is very good too. Let's continue. Let's listen to his testimonial.
Just approaching and getting girls to open up a little bit more has been much, much easier now, because I've been learning how to read expression and social cues and all that good stuff. I definitely do recommend this to people that are struggling during COVID, especially because it'll just make conversations flow, and getting those same day lays will start coming. And hopefully even more friends with benefits in the future. At least that's what I'm going for. So yeah.
Do you think it happened? Friends with benefits? Of course it did. I'll give you a little bit of a taste of his future testimonial. This is the update.
Hey guys, I wanted to give an update on my Elite 30 journey. And I have 2 lay stories to tell you about.
Oh shit. That's 3 lays already in a short amount of time. Social calibrations. A samurai looking big Asian guy switching over to the ninja game. Ninja game is more powerful than a fucking samurai game. You'll kill the fucking samurais with this style of game. Non-stop lay testimonials. As long as you're like above 10 at the minimum, you have to be at least 15 to take elite access. He didn't take elite access. He just got elite 30. He didn't buy playbook. But of course, he has some value. He has some looks. He has some height. He has some muscles. Protector status. V-shape. He has it. It's not rocket science. I'm not saying everyone needs it. because this Spanish student has no muscles. When I was talking about his testimonial, let's look at the Spanish guy. That's him. He fucked a white girl in fucking public too. Public sex. Right here. He fucked her on the bench. That's the public. And when I'm looking over this screenshot, she's already saying that I need to be honest with myself. I think I only want to be with you for sex and I shouldn't do that. I don't think you, he said something I censored. I know if I'm comfortable around you when you're feeling upset, and I just don't want to put neither of us in that situation. So goodbye for now. I'll wait for a reply, but regardless, he still fucked her. American white girl. This is the Latino guys or Spanish guys' dream. They don't want to just fuck Latinas. They want a white girl. That's what he got. He got a white girl. This is the dream. This is the dream of Spanish people, fucking white girls. Especially now, the Spanish people or Latinos, their SMV is no longer 7 out of 10 because of Donald Trump and also Biden with the border crisis. Now, because of that, it has moved to 6 out of 10. Now, you guys need a lot more game, a lot more skills, a lot more social skills, a lot more social calibrations. No amount of game is going to be enough. Now you got to fight like a medium stereotype. Not a positive stereotype, not a negative stereotype, but right in the middle. It's unfortunate. This is the world. It's not fair. And you're like, shit, that's right. So I have a lot of, you have Spanish, I got a lot of Spanish students, and also a guy for the new program, which I'll be talking about later on. Mental trauma for PUA, mental trauma relief for PUAs for COVID-19, a new course. I can get rid of your mental trauma in 6 hours. You're like, holy shit, 6 hours? There's no way you can do that, John. It's impossible. No psychologist in the world has been able to figure this out. It's more like 3 years, John, maybe 1 year, John. Fucking 6 hours? There's no way that's true. But I am the John Elite. You all probably know I'm a fucking genius. You know I can be number one at every single field if I wanted to. I'm that fucking smart. Yes. 6 hours. Gone. You're like, holy, I'll play the testimonial afterwards in case you don't believe me. Because another Latino student is going to take that. He's been to a psychologist for like a year. He's wasted thousands and thousands of dollars for mental bullshit. But let's continue. I've been digressing. So it's crystal clear to me how to get people laid by boosting their points. Since social skills and social calibrations are already 5 points. Because I saw their game is only 1 point at most. And they add emotions for another point. It isn't enough for most negative stereotype minorities versus 5 points from social skills and social calibrations. I also learned that game wasn't everything. Since it takes too long, or 7-day boot camp, which is a ton of approaches, costing you over $5,000, 5.6 grand right here. Just wasting the fucking money. All right? You can just burn this stuff and throw it away. It's like dumpster fire, It's just like fucking dumpster fire. Stupid. So you need to learn that social calibrations first, even if you have to practice in front of the mirror and treat it like one approach. So that way you can make adjustments. It's like Kaizen. 1% better every single time. If you go out there, you reinforce bad habits like RSD victims. Like, you're right, John. If you go out there, you try the approach by yourself and just taking massive action like RSD or getting positive reactions from their stupid Daygame courses, which is like, oh, yeah, you got to give more validation. You got to go direct. Bullshit. It's like Fisher Price's, my first Daygame course. This is not about positive reactions. This is about results here at John Elite Dating. Only results matters for students. None of this other shit matters. None of this other shit matters. I don't need a boot camp to get you laid. If I'm fighting a fucking war and I'm a general, I want as many friends as possible of people fighting. If I can get them laid from every single fucking course I have, like every course has laid testimonials. It's almost like every student got laid except for one fucking zombie for every course. Always that one fucking zombie. full of cortisol, unteachable case. That one motherfucker that ruins my perfect record. Kaizen, everyone got laid except for one. Tech scheme for minorities, everyone got laid except for one. 3 months of proficiency, everyone got laid except once, but eventually that guy got laid. Just later on, I had to reteach him. And he got like 59 lays on Tinder using my 6 algorithms from the inner circle or elite access. I would not teach it to the public. But I don't count any of that 59. I only counted the testimonial that he got in the bar. That's it. Fuck Tinder testimonials because it's not pickup. As much as you guys want to tell yourself, even though they say, oh, I know it's cheating. Of course it's cheating because it's bullshit. Tinder does not fucking count. Tinder is no skills. It's displaying meat out there. Like a fucking auction. It's a food app for white people because most of their student results are white people. White is right according to Tinder. You don't need fucking 20 bricks to build that bridge to get over it. On Tinder, you just need a fucking 5 bricks and just be white. Night game. I mean, you need 10 bricks and that's it. Night game, 15 bricks. You don't need social skills or emotions. That's why Asians love night game. But John, it's charm. I need night game. Fuck you, you Asian carp. Night game, John, night game. You're night game. So shut the fuck up. Day game, 20 bricks. That's all you need. It's automatic lay. But you can only get it through Ninja Game. Fuck samurai shit. Oh, lay. Numbers game. Volume. 10%. What happens if you're a short little Asian fuck and you're like 5'4" and women don't even fucking reply to your text? Oh, but you should be using text, right? And that's the funnel. Well, if the funnel is so fucking great, then why you only have 3 late testimonials? Optimize my fucking ass. My system is the most effective, efficient, optimized, effortless with the mirror, and elite. Their system is not. Oh yeah, but look, people vouch for you. What the fuck? Vouching. It's more like they fuck everyone over around them. And then they don't vouch for them. It's like they're the people they vouch for are people they roast afterwards. Like, what the fuck? It's like a bunch of scammers to me. Bunch of scammers to me. What the fuck? It's like all mental bullshit. Oh, it's just pull infields. But for white dating coaches, they have 100 lays. And then they have like 700 pull infields. Pull. Therefore, only 1 in 7 converts. So if we do the math, we divide 100 pull infields. Poo. That's why the people love the charisma. The charisma, John. They look at these white fucking poo infields where only 1 in 7 closes. Bullshit. That's their odds. So they're like, oh, I'm with my other events people, and they listen. If they only got 400 lay testimonials for night game, their lay count is only 400. All that Tinder shit doesn't even fucking count because it's a food app. It's not pickup. Oh, but lay is a lay. Yeah, start gaming prostitutes. I'm not saying that they go to that kind of stuff, but I'm just saying if a lay is a lay, then you can just try a gamer without paying her. Just like seeking arrangements or seeking stupidity. You can try to do shit like that. That's not game. What if you try and use clout? What if you were like saying you're a DJ or you're a radio host or some shit? And you got laid because of that, because of status maxing. Does that count? Of course not. That's the problem because they're status maxing and they're telling you, oh, this is the game. This is the looks game. Looks. If you take their day game course, you won't get a single lay because you don't have the same status fucking maxing. You don't have the same high status, perceived natural status for race. You don't have the same perceived natural status for the job. You don't have the same high status job. You don't have the same lifestyle. You don't have the same third world money status advantage. You don't have any other advantages. That's the problem. You don't have their exotic advantage either. You don't have any of that. Instead, I'm going to use game, this fucking small 25% bullshit here. It's like 2.5 points. Yeah, let's just focus on the 2.5 points while they're status maxing. Doesn't make any fucking sense to Johnny Lee. The math doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So, if you practice in front of the mirror and you practice 101 times or 100 times and you get a fucking lay on their first approach. That's just 101. Treat it like another approach. But it's really just one approach. But that 101 practice, readjustment in the mirror, that plays a big fucking role. So going out there, doing game with just game tactics, which means more volume, is unnecessary. As a result, I got so many students laid without a boot camp. Even though most of my students got laid in boot camps, pulled a woman home for Daygame, or they got laid, except for 3. After that, I started educating people that boot camps are often geo-maxing. New York is on easy mode. It's kind of like Las Vegas, you know? New York and Las Vegas is easy because there are other dating coaches who got testimonials there. Lil Jew, who was friends with self-proclaimed high lay count guy before, got roasted. Lil Jew got many testimonials too, with very good-looking students who are 8 out of 10 in looks. They're white. So therefore, they need 2 points to get over 20 out of 35. Just 2 points. He has like 34 laid testimonials now. But it's always geomaxing. Around that location, even Evolution Daily, which I think he fucking sucks. Sucks shit. He thinks he's the best day game coach in the world. Even he got a few testimonials here and there. Not as many as Lil Jew. And no offense to Jewish people. I study is really Krav Maga. I'm trained by the Jewish military. So if I say Lil Jew, I have every right to, because I have 5 years worth of training. Maybe I'll train all of you out here because people are becoming omni-cunts. So if Lil Jew can get testimonials, then New York is not hard. New York is probably one of the easier places. We just don't know it yet because everyone else says it's hard, like Justin Wayne, which is bullshit because it's geomaxing. You're in a specific location for your SMV, geomaxing. But when you get home, you don't get any results unless you're in a geomax location for your SMV. So that's the thing. Suddenly, I was getting nonstop late testimonials since I was giving people the cure, not the fucking treatment, from students all around the world without boot camp. Look at my students. They're from every fucking country. It's not a coincidence, is it? No, it's not. That's when I realized that the secret to get as many late testimonials. So I don't have to go through one boot camp student at a time. It takes too fucking long. I don't want to waste 7 fucking days. That means I can only get 4 late testimonials in a fucking month. It's a lot of work. That means game is only 25% of the equation, plus status maxing and geomaxing. The social skill and social calibrations, emotional control in game. That's the whole equation. But in reality, just social skills and social calibrations seems to be more than enough. And they don't teach social skills. They teach socio skills. With their samurai sword, they have an autistic version of it. Even in Europe, you don't need perfect social skills because the women cannot even fucking speak English properly. Nobody can. So therefore, they don't need perfect social skills. You can sound autistic as shit and they'll still at least do something. But when you try to bring it over here outside of New York, it's just going to be a clusterfuck. So my plan was to start educating people here on YouTube live that I can actually get late testimonials without bootcamp. I'm the only one in the world. Look at your other fucking coaches. If it takes more than 6 months just to get one, that's fucking bullshit. Or their SMV is too low. They'll just collect your money. It's a waste of fucking money. For every one student that I can get late in the boot camp, I could have taught them online, like Skype, Elite Access, Kaizen. I can get 20 more fucking late testimonials. So why would I waste my time with just, I like teaching boot camps. And I want to do it after the pandemic's over. Because there's a big queue, a big lineup of people just waiting until all this fucking COVID is over. But however, this is not the biggest priority right now. That means I can get you laid without boot camp if you just use your fucking Skype from the Elite bundle. There's a lot of people that don't want to use their Skypes because they're fucking know-it-alls. So this is what I like. It's like leading a bigger army. How does acne scars on the face affect our game? It doesn't. It's 20 out of 35. Even the Taiwanese student was worried that he had some redness on his face, some eczema. He's like, oh, women will reject me because of my... Fuck no. They look at 20 out of 35 acne scars. Who gives a shit? What the fuck does acne scars have to do with anything? Fucking, like, all your insecurities are bullshit. I'm telling you guys, all your insecurities are complete massive bullshit. Because it has nothing to do with your, oh, is it my looks, my height? Okay, it's 20 out of 35. That formula debunks your insecurities. You're just not over the fucking line. So work on points, because women can sense all your fucking points. They're like octopus. Women have 8 arms. They can see the looks. They can see the money. They can see the status. They can see the social skills. Indicators of social skills, which you don't have. Indicators of social calibrations, which takes 21 days to develop. Emotional control, which is why I'm making the trauma relief for pickup artists during COVID-19. So that way it doesn't affect your vibe. Because there's a lot of students out there who are hurting on the inside with too much mental trauma, been beaten too much, been yelled at by their parents too much, been mentally abused too much. Is just showing up in their fucking face. They just can't get rid of their trauma. They go to psychologist, therapist, psychiatrist, and they do nothing. And I solved the fucking problem. How you, can you stop writing some weird shit with your, Ukrainian or, fucking Russian, your Ruski shit? Can you stop writing some weird shit like that? Thanks. All right, let's continue. Is it worth getting married, John? It's up to you. Some of my students want to get married because they have banged too many women. Some of my students already like 25 ladies already bang models. They want to settle down. It's up to you. This is not some red pill shit where I tell you what to do with your life. Some people actually wants to get married. A lot of my students already married, guys. Believe it or not. There's at least 5 or 6 students already married. You see the London guy that was in my boot camp? He's already married. His girlfriend is 9 out of 10. He married her. My other students are engaged. I have so many students that procreated, got married, but I don't advertise this shit because it's not part of my business. It's not like, oh, you take, social skills and social calibrations to get married. Some people don't want to get married. Some people just want to get that laid. Some people want some fuck buddies. Everyone's different. Some people want a girlfriend. You can get it all here. Some people want models. They have achieved all of these things. It's fucking stupid. You don't need romance. It's like fucking bullshit. Okay, sorry for asking you for the best. The best, that's why I asked. You're the best, that's why I asked. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so many students already procreated. I can name names, but I'm not going to or say which students. I'll let them have their privacy. So if ABCs of attraction is bragging that their students got married, well, what about me? I got so many students married already. They got older. They got married. It's up to you. If you want to get married, then get married. If you don't want to get married, then don't get married. Stop listening to the red pill shit. It's up to you. It's not up to the fucking red pill bullshit. Red pill is bullshit. I've always said red pill is bullshit. And other dating coaches were doubling down on red pill until self-proclaimed highly account guy roasted red pill, and now they're not for red pill. I don't fucking believe in any of this bullshit. It's just 20 out of 35, guys. And the mindset is out of 50. How teachable you are out of 10. How changeable are you out of 10? How much skill do you have out of 10? Which most of you think is 7 when you're fucking low. Because you have the Dunning-Kruger effect. Look it up. Dunning-Kruger effect. Where unskilled individuals believe that they're superior. My Mexican student, Marco, believed he was like fucking 7 out of 10. So was his friend. Stupid. Believability. How much you believe in yourself out of 10. Sometimes this is the only category that RSD victims have because they have this huge fucking belief that they're enough. That's the only thing they have for their mindset. But they're less than 10. They're like 8 out of fucking 50 for their mindset. I made baseball cards of all the students, by the way. A lot of the students that, were not that great, I looked at their score. They're less than 10. But if some scars don't matter, then that means appearance doesn't really matter. It's not about appearance don't matter. It's about like being whitewashed. I'm not dressed whitewashed. I'm dressed like Latino wash today or Spanish wash. But If you're dressed whitewash, you are above 5'9" with elevator shoes. You have a V-shaped body. You have a whitewash hairstyle like my students. You know? Then it's almost like you're all wearing a fucking face mask. It doesn't even matter about my looks, even though I'm decent looking. It's like we all have a Jason mask. You know that serial killer Jason with a big knife? Everyone has the same fucking thing. So if you're blackwash and you're like a big black guy with bald head and, big muscles, then that's what the women sees. They don't give a fuck about your face. They're not lesbians. They're not lesbians. Always keeping it real. Thanks, John. Going to practice. Smash the like button. Okay. It's not just practice. Get the mirror, and every practice in the mirror equals one approach from now on. One adjusted approach. So you might do 20 approaches in the mirror, and on your 25th approach, you get at least a pull. Then you're on the right track. But let's say you went out there and you did 25 out there, and you reinforced bad habits, 21 days to reinforce a bad habit. You're not playing ninja game. You're playing samurai. You're just swinging the fucking sword. Throwing the basketball at the hoop without any technique. Lay. Stop doing that shit. It's not about motivation. It's about skills and value. Evolutionary psychology. That's all it is. Most of you don't realize if you work on your social skills, you work on your alpha body language like a tribe leader. You work on getting rid of the mental trauma for emotions. No, it's not charm or charisma or emoting your fucking autism. And then you just have the most minimal game tactics, which is flirt whenever she's talking too much. Whenever she gives you like non-compliance, which is created by your lack of social calibrations, then you fucking tease. That's it. Rock, paper, scissors. You tease at the right times, you go from warm to hot. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. As long as you keep up the body language from Elite 30, the woman's into you. The attraction builds automatically because her octopus arms can feel it. That's what happened with my Chinese student. The longer he can stand up there with Elite 30, the more wet she gets. In the beginning, she might resist, but he stands his ground because he doesn't know how to tease. Most of my students do not know how to tease or flirt. You know that? But they still get laid because it's the value. It's just the social skills and social calibrations. Work on your life, make enough money, display your wealth, have a lifestyle, fix your fucking alpha body language, your social skills, and, don't be emotional fucking snowflake cunt, like an omni cunt. You automatically get laid. Getting laid is like the fucking cherry on top, or it is like the icing on the cake. You work on all these. No, but it's more game, John. Yeah, right. Where the fuck are their late testimonials for their products? If I were really so wrong, like this is just one other fucking testimonial. I can post a new fucking testimonial like this for the rest of the year until next year. If I really wanted to. If you want me to see me put over like 150 video testimonials by tomorrow, I can fucking do that on my fucking playlist. If you want, just let me know how many fucking testimonials I need to beat. I'll match them testimonial by testimonial, and I'll add the one if I want to. No problem. No fucking problem. If you have an accent, does it make it harder to whitewash? No. If you look like a Negro and you are Indian, no one knows, they cannot pair the accent. Indian accent, looks black. It doesn't make sense. Therefore, he's black. Accent doesn't matter. If you're whitewashed and you're Indian, you have a little bit of accent, it doesn't fucking matter. This is why they only have 7 Indian lay testimonials. And I have endless. I'm assuming that's the 7th one, not the 6th one anymore. It doesn't fucking matter. I'll post more within these few days. No problem. Because I already just posted one here. 5'5" guy. He dressed like a Spanish guy, or he looks like with his mustache and everything. They treat him like a Spanish person, a Latino. Is that funny, right? Whatever race you look like. Look at my old roommate. He looks like a tall, good-looking Latino. He's not Latino. He's living in Mexico now. They're not fucking kidnapping him because they think he's fucking Mexican. They really think he's Mexican. Therefore, whatever race you look like, then you get treated like that race. So if you're whitewashed, you no longer have to experience the racism or xenophobia, like the Asian carp. Oh, well, John, we're equal. Why would they treat us like that? Well, the way you treat my black student in China, right? You treat him with xenophobia. What if he start acting like a fucking gangster there? What if he start acting like a gangster? And you're like, oh yeah, we're afraid of him. We're xenophobic. Of course, because xenophobia means the out tribe, the foreign, the fear and dislike of other people's culture. But instead, you're just like a hypocrite. A hypocrite because you're like, oh, but then you're here in America and you're like, everyone should treat us equal. You're creating xenophobia, you dumb fucks. I had this Filipino student who keeps wearing this Filipino wash fashion, this carp fashion. He's just making it so hard for himself when his SMV, his LMS is below 10 and his mindset is below 10. It's just like, what are you doing? The lower your mindsets, the lower your SMV, the more impossible case you have to become or unteachable. So accent doesn't fucking matter as long as they cannot pair it with where you're from. Having a Chinese accent from China is not the greatest thing right now. So if you look whitewashed, they don't know where you're from. That would be better because they blame me for COVID-19. Real talk. No bullshit here. All right, let's continue. So even if the bootcamp method would make more money, even if it makes more money, I'd rather have more student results faster so I can get more students, laid testimonials for Daygame for the pandemic. So I start educating people how they fleeced the sheeps, but I didn't stop there. I then educated people that their Daygame courses didn't work. So they're funneled into a bootcamp. How many of you have actually gotten laid from any other Daygame courses besides mine during COVID-19? There's not a single one of you in the world, have you? Not a single one. So why are you going to their boot camps? Is it designed intentionally to not work? Oh, shit. Name one student, even a little Jews course or other people's courses. How come nobody got laid except for my courses for Daygame? Because what they teach is not social skills or socially calibrated. Just name one. Where's it? Look at their testimonials. Where the fuck is it? It's like trying to find Waldo. It doesn't fucking exist. You're like, oh shit, John, you're right. Not a single one of you gotten laid because you believe that if you learn from this course, then this course, because they have a big YouTube following, then this course, and all of a sudden your brain will open up. But instead, you're putting weeds into your mind. You're gaslighting your own mind with half-truths because their courses don't have any lay testimonials. You filled your mind with so much shit, so when you go to my course, you can't listen to it because you have other Justin Wayne shit or RSD shit or self-proclaimed high lay count guy shit talking your fucking mind. Now it's like you're gaslighting because, oh, but this other coach said this. Nobody talked about Ninja Game, John. You're the only one in the world. Because that's why it works. That's why it works. If it's exactly the same as their shit and you expect to hear it from them, and you look at their lack of lay testimonials, they're just here to fleece the sheeps. Look at Todd V. He was making all these great sounding advice videos, fleecing the sheeps with his high subscriber count. And he's like, look at all this. You can't verify if the advice works or not, but he's only ever gotten 3 fucking lay testimonials for Daygame. 3. And then you take this course. Oh, now you're fucking stuck. Now you need a boot camp or you need another course from another RSD guy. You're stuck. Now you're saying, well, Todd V says this, you need a push-pull. I was like, what are you talking about, push-pull? You see that? Or another coach says you need romance. I was like, what are you talking about? My students don't use romance. Oh, you need emotion. You need to flirt. What are you talking about? Does this Taiwanese guy sound like he's emotional or he knows how to flirt? Oh, but they don't know how to fucking flirt. My students don't know how to fucking flirt or tease. They can't move their fucking face. Their face does not move. They're so full of trauma and they don't even have any emotions. They don't move their fucking face. So how are they able to get laid? 20 out of 35. It's that simple. Now you realize that. You can emote all you want and be charismatic. It's not going to get you laid. Be a ninja. Stop fucking around. I think that's a problem because if you're Asian washed, you'll be treated in evolutionary psychology like the out tribe. So therefore, you're creating xenophobia. It makes it harder for you. It becomes much harder for you. Does that make sense? For no reason, you put an extra obstacle in front of you because you dismiss the fashion because you're Asian carp. Because you're Asian carp and you're making it more carpy. Asian carps, the fish, is an invasive species. It's like, what's wrong with us? We demand equality. We're a fish too, right? So people should stop beating us up and shooting arrows at us. Because the carp likes to jump 10 feet off the fucking water and scare everyone with charm and charisma. Carp jumping, charisma, charm, carp. The fuck? Be whitewashed. Have social skills, social calibrations. Stop being a carp. Stop being like fucking like you. A lot of you are not even aware that you are creating an out-tribe, this evolutionary psychology. But what you said, something about exotic appeal, it doesn't matter about your fucking exotic appeal. You're in America. If you're in the United States, you are not special or exotic. There's plenty of Asian carps all around you. In New York, for example. And they're getting punched in the back of the fucking head by Negroes. Because they look like they're from China before, when they thought COVID-19 was from the wet market, not from Wuhan lab. Don't you get it? You have no idea that you're carping it out. Cock blocking yourself. That's why you're not going to get results. Because you're unaware that you're turning women off and drying their vaginas. They're like fucking sand coming out of their vaginas when you carp it up. But we're equal. It's charm. There's the racist media. Like, fuck you. You put yourself in this position. None of my students ever been racially abused until they bring back their own carp fashion. Then they get racially abused 10 times in a row when they get a haircut because they have to wear their carp. When you're clueless, evolutionary psychology will weed you out. Let's continue. After that, I say, look at how many late testimonials there are for their products. Why do they have 0 late testimonials? Name one day game coach in the world that actually has more than 0 late testimonials for their products. Name one. You look at their subscriber count, you're going to buy their course and thinking, I'm going to learn some new shit. It's like FOMO, the fear of missing out. How many of them have more than 0? I can't think of any, except me. I have endless. Why does an old course that I made in 2018, like Elite 30, still work? During Omnicron. Their stuff doesn't even work. Their old stuff doesn't work. Their new stuff doesn't work. But you go to a boot camp because they're fleecing the sheeps. They're fleecing the sheeps. You can't answer that question, can you? Because you can't think of a single fucking person that actually got laid from their courses. Not even one. But there's still a problem. These sheeps are still worshipping high subscribers. Hold on a second. They're still worshipping all these high subscriber counts of dating coaches without critical thinking, buying their courses without realizing it was designed not to work. Since these dating coaches are Machiavellian, they're antisocial, they're dark tetrad or dark triad personality. Because of the Machiavellianism, sociopathy, narcissism, their Machiavellianism is gaming their students. They intentionally mislead you that it's supposed to work. That's what you think. With 0 late testimonials for their day game course, if they have some for their boot camps, it means they're intentionally fleecing their sheeps. They're fucking you up on like intentionally. And what's worse is that they don't have any student late testimonials in day game when they release a day game course, or they only have 3. The worst thing is that when they're releasing a new course and there's no fucking student late testimonials ever. That is the worst. Not only do they have 0 for their day game course, they have 0 for their boot camps for day game. Oh, that's bad, man. It's probably some kind of RSD influence. Every time RSD gets their claws into something, you will not get laid. But the coach status max. All right. So I ended up getting so frustrated that I've decided to make a YouTube live video educating the zombies. Because I am the only day game coach that can get people laid without boot camp. But online. I call it the fleecing the sheep formula. It goes like this. They'll depend on the sub count and students worshipping. They need to worship first. Because worshiping means you'll pay more. It's like a worship tax. You put more money into their boot camps because you worship. That's why I don't have a worship policy. Number 2, they'll release a bogus Daygame product that doesn't even work. Number 3, they'll have 0 Daygame late testimonials. Number 4, they might have a few bootcamp late testimonials in specific locations like New York or Las Vegas or Eastern Europe, while the dating coach is status maxing, meaning their perceived natural status isn't even what they say it is, but it appears to be something else to women, because women don't fucking know. They have no clue. Nobody knows their fucking ethnicity. Nobody. Second, they'll have a lifestyle and their high status job, like a DJ or club promoter. Then they'll use a third world money status advantage. And lastly, exotic advantage. Exotic advantage only works when all the girls are white and you're just some person walking over there. Then you have exotic advantage. You might think, oh, I got exotic advantage in America by being an Asian carp. You have 0 exotic advantages. With the more Indian and the more Asians in one place, the less advantages you get for exotic. So I thought I can create something that would make it possible for you to get laid in every single continent in the world without boot camp. And that already happened. They talk about, oh, I got students every... Big fucking deal. I've done that. Like, I've been a dating coach since 2012. 2012, longer than they have been a pickup artist. So, big fucking deal. This has been there, done that long time ago. I'll start teaching online since 2014. It's like before I was teaching in boot camp for not a lot of money, but I got nonstop late testimonials. So my students got laid from every race, every location, from Canada to United States, Australia, Europe, Africa, you name it. They fucked women there. It doesn't matter. As long as you're 20 out of 35 points, it's automatic lay. It's universal. It's automatic lay. Looks, money, status, social skills, social calibration skills, emotional control, and the game. That's it. After educating them that other dating coaches are Machiavellian. They love money. They just sniff money. Just like, oh, yes, money. I love money. They made their Daygame courses confusing, unclear with their concepts. So you'll never, ever get to work. You don't even know that. You know that you didn't get laid. Your friends did not get laid. Nobody around you with their courses got laid. But you take their boot camps. That's how the fucking sheeps are fleeced. The fucking sheeps are fleeced. Because it's confusing. Unclear concepts. So you'll never get to work. So you blame yourself. You're like, oh, there must be something wrong with me. Because if the coach get results, I should be able to get results. But you're fucking status maxing. Or they're status maxing. Exotic appeal is a good thing for us. It sounds like you throw it. Why don't you actually, if you go to like Colombia or you went to Mexico or something as an Asian and you went on Tinder, you get so many fucking matches and laid so many times by being that exotic advantage. But if you try to get a Latina in the United States and you're not 5'11" or muscular or strong, good luck. Because they need protector status. But when you move to their location, which is a third world shithole, then it's just one lay after another. So yes, that's an exotic advantage example. Or if you're a white guy that goes to Brazil, like a tall white guy going to Brazil, then you have exotic advantage. Or you're a white guy going to Thailand. But there's a lot of white guys. They're creepy white guys. But you have the advantage. It's that simple. It's that simple. So you blame yourself and you say, oh, if you can do it, I can do it. That's a bullshit. Because he's status maxing and geo maxing. When I could get you laid in a fraction of the price with Elite Bundle and the Skypes that come with it, a lot of you don't use. So I create this fleecing the sheep concept, and it goes like this. They depend on subs, worshipping, YouTube. That's why I stopped putting the subscriber count. It's only like 860 something. It's not that much. I have the most late testimonials. They'll release a bogus Daygame product, or maybe 2. They'll have 0 late testimonials for their Daygame products in COVID-19. They'll either have some bootcamp late testimonials, geomaxing in specific locations, like New York or Las Vegas or Eastern Europe, while the dating coach is status maxing. I mean, they can say that, oh, I'm this race, right? But if they're not getting that many like for example, Indian testimonials or black whatever the fuck. Are they really your race according to women? No. Meaning their perceived natural status isn't even what they say it is, but appears something different to women. So you might think, well, because they're just activating her stimuli. But in reality, they're activating attraction because they're blackwash or whitewash. Second, they'll have a lifestyle or a high status job like a DJ, a club promoter, and they'll use their third world money status advantage. Lastly, exotic advantage. Now I can get so many bootcamp students laid without a bootcamp. Then I start to let other day gamers learn the fleecing the sheep formula. It goes like this: subs, bogus product, zero lay testimonials for their products. Their bootcamp geo maxing, status maxing. They talk about game. You will never get results because you don't have their same status. You don't have their Instagram. You don't have their advantage. Losing my voice. So, perceived natural status, DJ job, blah, blah, blah. So, as a result of all of this, I almost have 500 Laypo testimonials for Daygame. I'm losing my voice. So, I have to stop eventually. I'm at 496 now. I can get every race laid, every continent, since social calibration, social skills, or ninja game is superior to samurai game, which is just fucking stupid game tactics with a big sword and emoting. Who gives a shit? You have 5 points for social skills, social calibrations, versus there are 2 points for game and emotions. After creating the fleecing the sheep concept, they'll depend on subs and worshipping. They'll release a bogus product, all that stuff. Meaning, yeah, I was not only able to get nonstop lay testimonials for Daygame products, which they have zero, still, after all this time, after a whole fucking year. They'll have zero for Delta, Omicron, since their Daygame products are complete mental bullshit. You go to their courses, you don't listen to mine because of the subscriber count. You have fucked yourself over. They'll be fleecing the sheeps, and most of them are too dumb to mentally slow. You know, they have intellectual disabilities. They'll never get it because their brain just doesn't. You can't put the pieces together. It's like a shattered brain. So I've also been able to stop people from looking at subscriber accounts now. So that's better. So the more popular for Daygame, because I can now show people that subscriber count doesn't determine your results in Daygame. In the end, all this means I'm able to educate you how they fleece the fucking sheeps. All right. So now that you guys are here, I want to have your permission if I'm allowed to pitch my new course called Mental Trauma for Daygame. You have my permission to leave right now. I'm going to pitch my new course. But if you want to hear more about it, I'm already having people sign up. I'm going to read to you the sales letter. It's not even perfect because there's a lot of spelling errors. I just wrote the sales letter. But let's go read through the sales letter, shall we? Remember, you have my permission to leave. Drop off right now if you don't want to hear about it. There's a lot of people that have been rejected so much during COVID, or they have so much mental trauma they cannot approach anymore. They're fucked. Or they're just too emotional, not resilient, and their faces are stuck. They cannot move their facial expressions. Their trauma is everywhere. They're emotional. They're lazy, procrastinating. They need a hard reset. That sounds like something that you need. Stay, because now I'm going to read it out loud. Shall we? All right. So mental trauma cure for COVID-19. How my students got over his mental trauma in less than 1 day. 6 hours by using my mental trauma relief program for pickup artists. You're like, that's holy shit. 6 hours? Let's listen to his testimonial, shall we?
It took me like 9 hours to get over all my bullshit trauma.
Let's begin at the beginning.
John's new program that he has not released out in public yet. But with this program, right, it helps you get over your PTSD and your negative mindset. So with this program, basically what it is you and John will sit down together on a Skype session and you will list out all your traumas that you have ever experienced in your life. And then you and John, y'all would do an EMDR session, and there's another 6 different things you have to do to it in order to get over that trauma. And the cool thing is that John when you're doing one of those like sessions with him, he can also feel your like trauma experience. He's like psychic and he can feel what you're feeling at that time. Granted, sometimes it might be a little delay due to like.
So he's talking about EMDR, when you move your eyes and you follow along like this, and you can access different parts of your brain because where you're looking at corresponds to the opposite side. So that way it can scrub the trauma out. I know exactly where you're feeling the pain. So that's the weird thing. I have this weird ability, even though I recorded one of the students, I was able to detect exactly all the pain he was feeling, exactly what part of the face or the mind it's affecting. He said, how do you know that? I guessed it 90% correct every single time. That's why he's saying about a delay. I don't know where I got this ability from, or if we're living in the Matrix where this is all a simulation, but somehow I'm able to, I know what you're feeling across the world. So nobody can really hide from me. I know exactly when they're going to do stuff. I know what they're thinking. I can even see, like, sometimes where what you're seeing is weird. Like, I know. People are, how the fuck? But let's continue. So that's what he's talking about.
Like where you're located at, but at the end, he feels all that trauma that you're feeling, and he'll help you get over it. And in my experience, he knew the exact kind of trauma that I was like feeling, and like he knew where it was, and I was so like mind blown to know that like he's like psychic and he can like know where this trauma is, and when he can know where that trauma is, we can better focus on that like where that trauma is located, so therefore we can erase that trauma from your memory.
So basically, it's almost like you can scrub the trauma out and it almost bursts like an egg with the yolk and everything. It just, the secret behind the trauma is that your brain is electrically charged. When they go to an MRI machine, for the guys who are war veterans, you see their friends head blown off with a machine gun, and you see blood and brains everywhere. They're mentally fucked up. So they store the trauma because they don't want to deal with it. That's why they're always fucked up when they come home from war. They have so much PTSD, as they call it. So the whole brain, when you put under the MRI, it's all charged. That means you can see the actual electric signal everywhere. I'm able to get in there, scrub the electric signal so it doesn't light up. I can turn off all the lights and erase it. Slowly going down, 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 down from 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In one day, I've discovered what psychologists and therapists cannot figure out, or psychiatrists. John once again infiltrated another industry and became number one. Number one for Daygame, now for psychology. Eventually, all the psychologists will come after me for releasing this to the world, because they're giving the treatment and fleecing the sheeps. Same shit, just like RSD. They need to pay for their office space. They need to pay for this. But John's smart. He figured it out. You probably know by now I'm a genius, but it's not to brag. Let's continue.
And I do not recall any of this trauma now. And like, only time I can ever recall it is like when I'm talking about it, like right now. That's when I can like think about it. But even then, it doesn't like affect me like anyhow. Like, I don't feel anything from that trauma at all. Like, I don't feel no negative feelings. Only thing I feel is like more happy, more expressive.
It's kind of like, you ever seen that Jim Carrey movie called Eternal Spotless of the Sunshine Minor or some shit like that? He basically erased all his memory of his girlfriend before. She erased of him. So it's like, it's kind of like that. You might remember the emotion, but the trauma doesn't bother you. The pain is not there. The electrical charge is not there.
Because when I used to deal with my trauma, like I was like depressed and sad, and like the girl can tell that because she knows that like you're not congruent with yourself, and she can pick that up.
He used to have like an upside down smile like this. Barely smile. This is what's happening with my newer student who just got today. And I've not released this course or this information about it. He also has upside down smile. He's been through too much trauma. And women can see that. They don't like it. You can't smile because they're like this. Oh, it's weighing you down. You've been through too much, man. You need to get that stuff out of there. This could be the biggest, most important thing, because I'm offering this at a very decent price. Another student of mine pay $8,000 for each psychologist, 3 of them. $8,000, man. That's $24,000. Holy shit. And I can get rid of this in one day. For him, this first guy had a PTSD headache. I will not take it on anyone with a post-traumatic headache, PTH. But I got rid of the trauma, at least. Second one, fine. Third one, it's going to be amazing. So.
And she'll find out that like something's not right with this guy, and like she'll walk away. So for those, and you know who you are, for those who spam approach and like y'all get rejected a lot, I know how much effect that can have on your mindset. So the next approach that one few people who like spam approaches, the ones with the shitty mindset, the girl will know that because she can tell from your social calibrations and your body language. And like, doesn't matter how much you learn from the Elite Access or like any of John's product. If you have a shitty mindset, it doesn't matter because, you know.
Yeah, if your mindset is like less than 10 out of 50, right? Then it's going to be hard for you to learn because you're resisting so much. You're not adapting. You're making excuses. There's been so much excuses being made by some of the students. You hear medical excuses. You hear like Omicron excuses. I have so many people say, I'm going to buy your course on Wednesday. And they ghost me. A guy from Slovenia, a guy from India. He just says, oh, and then when I call him out, like, you said you're going to buy on Wednesday, he starts saying like, oh, I'm not making as much money, John. He starts attacking me. It's like, fuck you. These are called omnicunts. There's a lot of omnicunts during Omicron. Omicron is not as deadly as Delta. Delta is very dangerous. I'm just saying.
When you go out there, you're going to fuck it up by your social calibrations and your body language because of how you feel inside. Because how you feel inside, it determines how, like, your facial expressions and how, like, your body language shows to the girl. And if she knows that, like, you're not, like, calibrated or, like, you're not, like, you don't feel inside that you show to the outside, she's going to walk away and you're stuck at step one. So this program is for all of you who are an RSD victim, for all of you who spam approach, because like I know for you spam approachers, you guys probably get rejected daily, and that affects your mental state, which eventually affects your like Daygame interactions with the girl, because you're gonna say I'm depressed, and the girl's gonna pick that up, and it's like gonna burn to the ground, and it's like you wish you had like a better mindset, And also for those who live in the United States, y'all know that health insurance here is like expensive, and some of you can't like afford professional counseling. And like, I suggest you do not go to a professional counselor at all because all they want is all y'all's money. And like with John, right? I paid $400 for his like coaching to get over my trauma relief, and like. It was worth it.
Wait, $400? Not like $8,000 or $3,000 or $5,000? Why? Because that way I have more testimonials. I can double the price in the future. But for now, this is gonna really change the world, man. It's gonna change the fucking world.
Every single penny of it. If you go to a counselor, right, you're gonna spend at least like $200. And I know some of you who live in the U.S., some of you don't have it.
It costs $200 per session. That's like the price of 2 sessions. You would have went for a whole fucking year. They would have got you on the fucking line. They would have fleeced the sheeps.
Health insurance. So eventually all that $200 can add up, and it's going to be like $800 because with John's coaching, the good thing is it only takes like 6 to 9 hours, depending on the individual and how much trauma that you have. But in my experience, it took me like 9 hours to get over all my like bullshit trauma.
It was actually like 7 hours, but whatever.
And I feel really happy. And like, if you go to a counselor, you gotta go back there the next day or the next week or the next month, and that like $200 you spend with that counselor, right? It's gonna end up being like $8,000, and like if you do that for years, it's gonna be like $24,000, and like you could buy like a whole brand new car with that, So yeah. Don't go to a counselor.
I calculated the price. It was like $9,500 and something dollars, something like that. Not 8,000, that much per year. If you go there once every single week. Seriously, these guys are the RSDs, the cognitive behavioral therapy people. While it can be helpful having talk therapy, but too much of it, they're not digging out the trauma. And I got a problem with that. I think you guys are fucking scamming people. And once again, it pisses off John Elite off. John Elite is pro-humanity, like Elon Musk. Not like these dating coaches or these psychologists. They're anti-human.
Go to John. He's cheaper, and not only is he cheaper, but it's way more effective compared to like a professional counselor. You like a regular individual go sees, because like it's expensive and it can take years just to get over one like trauma event or PTSD event. With John's training, depending on the individual, depending on how bad the trauma is, it might take you like an hour or like an hour and a half to get over just that one single trauma. But the good thing is, when you get over that one single trauma and you try to recall it, it's like doesn't affect you anymore. Like it's like whatever, it's like no, like not that like significant in your life no more. And also for those RSD victims too, whatever like those 50 mindset bullshit that RSD post out. Yeah, that's garbage. Don't listen to him, man. Listen to John. All of his programs have all helped me, and I lost my virginity because of his programs. So I suggest y'all listen to him. Y'all take this program. It will really help you a lot, because now I am really happy. I am really expressive. Therefore, the girl can tell how like congruent I am with my like inside feelings and my outside like body language and stuff. So yeah, John, thank you for the program. It's really helped. And for all of you who have shitty mindsets and stuff, take his program. You will not regret it, and it's really cheap.
Wow.
Hey, how's everybody doing today?
Wow.
So today,
holy shit. So John Elite found another cure for the whole world. Of all the psychologists in the entire fucking world, John Elite has solved something that they have not been able to solve. How to get rid of the trauma. Imagine how many soldiers in the world can use a program like this. Imagine how many, physically abused wives can use a program like this when their husband beats the shit out of them. Imagine how many people that grew up in physically abusive or mentally abusive households. I would have killed for a program like this. But it took me this many years to figure it out. Because somebody bet me that I could not get rid of their trauma, and I did. And I figured it out right there. It took a long time, a lot of research. I combined everything together to make it work. Holy shit. John Elite figures out another industry again. Just like when I taught the students how to get a V-shaped body in 3 weeks. You're like, wow. So while it normally takes you years to get over, thousands of dollars by other therapists, it was like I discovered fire as a caveman, or gunpowder, or a printing press, or a cure to a disease. This is big, but I don't know how to communicate it. As I discovered a cure for cancer or something, metaphorically speaking. Then you see other psychologists using this treatment to get people stuck in therapy for years, like their version of the RSD victims fleecing the sheeps. But for mental trauma, this is the cure. The one you didn't know you need. But you need it as soon as possible, especially during COVID. Where people are getting mentally weak like omnicunts. Everyone is so weak. They are saying one thing, then they don't deliver on their promises. Their mindsets are shit. The mental trauma are weighing them down. So, dear friend, as I wrote here, this letter isn't for cheap fucks or people who are complainers who blames the world for everything, thinking they don't need this, who hates getting their hands dirty to make changes in their life, who thinks it's cool to live with their mental trauma like it's some kind of badge of honor. It's for the rest of us. It's for the average guys who approaches women in Daygame and wants to get over their mental trauma from all the rejections, all the mental abuse you had from your parents who are sociopaths. Who knows the value of a buck, who is willing to trade a few drops of sweat for the chance to save big bucks. It won't cost you a few $1,000s for therapy. As I crack the code for you for only $400. It's for the guys who aren't afraid to get down under the sink with a pipe wrench and fix their mental trauma in 7-step process in one day, 6 hours with my process. All I ask is if it works, make a video testimonial for that. And they're going to make one when it works. Or if you don't want to, right, make a testimonial for others to see this miracle I've created, then this thing will cost you $9,600 a year normally. If you went to therapy, if you do the math, you have to pay me at least $3,000 if you don't want to make a testimonial afterwards. It's fair. It's less than $9,600. But you can do this for only $400 if you make the testimonial. And I know it's going to be a good one because I have solved the problem. Since it would have took you that long anyways to get you over your mental traumas. This is something that should not be kept away from the world. This is the power to change the world. Once again, Johnny Elite's so smart. I'm disrupting another industry like Elon Musk. One thing I realized about all these industries are that it's all about the fucking treatment. That's where all the money is. That's where all the money is. Not the cure. Nobody wants the fucking cure. Everyone wants to live the dream. Everyone wants to pump their state. While I am the world's best Daygame coach for nearly 500 lay testimonials now, I realize that nobody even cares about the cure. They want the long, drawn-out, expensive treatment, chasing dreams, being brainwashed with high subscriber counts and stupid. These 7 methods are based on real psychological methods for therapy. One method doesn't work by itself, but if it's all combined in the right sequence, it can get rid of your mental trauma forever. So you can approach again without a depressed frown or an Asian poker face that actually moves once the mental trauma is gone in 6 hours or less than a day. Just like Genghis Khan says, one arrow alone can be easily broken as he breaks in half. But many arrows are indestructible, combining the best pieces together, like Bruce Lee says. A sword was useful, discard was not, add uniquely was your own. A great role model, right? Genghis Khan for Asians, right? But all you have was Genghis Khan or Bruce Lee, which is 1/5 German. If this sounds like something you want, a hard reset, so you can have a better vibe to attract women, so you can get laid faster, and I bet that's you, then you should listen. Let me tell you a story of 2 students. One took the mental trauma relief program and the other didn't. Both the students are inner circle members from my inner circle. But one student jumped at the opportunity, this Indian guy, to take my mental trauma relief program. The other didn't even, did not even do it. Even if you grew up in an internment camp full of mental trauma, you're like, what? The first guy was Vietnamese. He took a boot camp from a company called ABCs of Low Self-Esteem. He was on the news as their student for ABC News for their boot camp. He was that victim there that was supposed to get help from their boot camp, this Asian boot camp. He got no reason. He's my student. He's mentally fucked. Which launched this other Asian business with only 6 Daygame lay testimonials, which doesn't even work. They promise him an Asian inner game, which isn't even going to solve his mental traumas. After all, he grew up in an internment camp where the Americans fought against the Viet Congs. He has gone through more mental trauma than anyone else out there. Seriously. You're like, holy fuck. He grew up in the... Yes, he actually grew up in an internment camp. He was an ABC student. ABC student. Let me see. I can show you his picture later. It's not important. His picture was taken in 2020, but he looks like an old man now in 2022. Now I can see why he didn't take it. I'm still looking for that clip where he was featured for ABCs. The very first time they were on the news. And they're showing that their course is supposed to work or something. But he didn't get results. He was that student in that news segment with spiky hair as an Asian, looking like a beta Asian as they fleeced the sheep. Instead of listening to me, that I wanted to remove the mental trauma from him, he was kind of mentally slow. He was more interested in the technology behind this. He didn't understand that I could remove his mental trauma. He'd rather live with it. He has failed businesses, everything in life. You know? And that's funny because everything, it just doesn't work for him. But somehow he just didn't get it. Even if he was the best candidate for the program, rather than making him a testimonial, I'd rather make him part of the story of the one that needs this program, but refused to take it since he was too wishy-washy. And he was telling me, military vets can use your new program, John. I should license it to other psychologists and therapists around the world. He says, you and David Tien, fuck David Tien, you know, from the 21 Secrets or whatever fucking mental bullshit of, you know. He says, another Asian guy that he worships, always worshiping the Asian guy. That's why they don't get any results, these carps. These charisma, they're always worshiping an Asian, another Asian. Notice when the student worships another Asian dating coach, especially taller, and they never have results again for Daygame. They get gaslighted. He told me how he has a PhD in psychology, right? Also, he's also helping Asians like you. And I was like, can he do this in 6 hours or am I smarter? You can't do it in even fucking 6 days. ABCs of low self-esteem only has 6 Daygame late testimonials. They're not helping Asian men with their inner game bullshit. It's like, here's their inner game. You're brainwashing the carps without fixing their anger or fixing their inner problems. And you're pumping their state. You need to get rid of their mental trauma first, not brainwash themselves, pumping their state like RSD light for Asians. So I myself have the most Asian Daygame lay testimonials in the world anyways, so why would anyone listen to any other Asian dating coaches? Doesn't make any fucking sense. Queefin Casanova, he's canceled. He has like 7 Daygame lay testimonials at most. He has some night game shit, what got him in trouble. But after he was canceled, I got like 37 Asian lay testimonials now, up from 35. I'll be posting them soon for next YouTube Live. Then he asked me if I was going to make a book of this. I said, fuck no. He was so cheap. He was so stupid. You know, he's not going to procreate. It's game over for him. You know, while this could have made him more money because his mind would have been more resilient, it would help him get over those issues so he can get laid. But after looking at him now, he's starting to look very old. I get it now. Now he looks like he's 60 years old. Before he looked like he's in late 40s. Now he looked like he's in late 60s. Well, too bad. I guess the pandemic really did you in. The other Indian student, whom also went through so much mental trauma, even if he lost his virginity during my coaching, he still had mental trauma. It was bad. He was stuck. He couldn't approach without mental trauma. His mental trauma was wiped out that day in 6 hours or 7. He called it the best investment he's ever made in his life. He was finally more expressive again, no longer having a depressive, upside-down frown. He had resilience to do the homework again from Elite Access. Before, as an Indian person, they don't do their homework because they get triggered and they have no emotional resilience. They procrastinate. Now that I took away the trauma, he's able to do all his homework and level up his skills. You know, he had a hard reset. He had a new mind, something that would have taken at least 3 years of therapy to obtain. And here's a great quote. You have 2 choices, to control your mind or to let your mind control you. Think about it. Here's what most people think. For many years, people have been wondering whether or not therapy is even worth it. Many people think it takes a few years of talk therapy to get over your mental trauma. That it requires a therapist who goes to university for so many years, repeating the same old shit without modifying anything, like I have, to get you over your mental trauma. However, all it takes is a dating coach like me who also learned the same psychological techniques because I had so many sociopaths, narcissistic students, autistic students, ADHD students, delusional students, where I have been working with for so long. I have more experience than they do with extreme mental cases. They use one technique at a time, like, oh, CBT, talk therapy. Ooh, what the fuck? But with the John Elite Mental Trauma Relief Program for PUAs for COVID-19, it only takes 7 steps, 6 hours, less than 1 day to remove your mental trauma. Without taking years of therapy costing you thousands upon thousands of dollars. Here's how you can get rid of your problems. I just put the finishing touches on. The John Elite Mental Trauma Relief Program for PUAs for COVID-19, which contains the same steps I have used to get rid of my own mental traumas in my students in less than a day. This is the complete A to Z program that gives you everything you need to know about making all that pain, mental trauma, go away. Everything you need to reset your mind. Literally beating every therapist method every single day because they think it's impossible to get rid of all this pain from your rejections, or you're blaming the media for your Asian issues, your Asian carp issues. So let me give you a taste of what you discovered inside the John Elite Trauma Relief Program. How I got my student over their mental trauma in 1 day, even if it seems impossible in 6 hours. Okay? I beat every psychologist, psychiatrist at their own game. Since I am smarter than they are, creating a better solution, faster, cheaper than ever before. The exact 7 steps I've identified from the activating event of your traumas, your beliefs, how they're formed, how it affected your life. The scrubbing it all away, all your bad memories, and pain forever. These steps also cure students that are so stuck in their own head with pain that they could barely push themselves to approach. Are these people any different from you? I don't think so. Sorry. Losing my voice. They're just honest people who are so thrilled and amazed with the results that they receive while using the John Elite Mental Trauma Relief Program that they're willing to give me a video testimonial. It takes a heck of a product to inspire that kind of openness and cooperation. But you saw it for yourself. Here is one Indian student, as you've seen, who's gone through so much mental trauma. He simply couldn't approach anymore without sweating bullets. Who have experienced so much PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder that he couldn't even smile anymore until he took my mental trauma relief program. He said it was the best investment he's ever made. And I have more testimonials soon since this program works. That's why I'm offering it for only $400. Wait, that's only $1.09 per day if you stretch it out over a year to get rid of all your PTSD, mental trauma, which normally takes thousands of dollars per year from other therapists who charges you an outrageous $200 per talk therapy session. When you think about it, compared to wasting $8,000 per therapist, which one of my students did, he had 3 of them, no joke. Seriously. $400 is really just a painless drop in the bucket. Think about it. Over the course of just 1 year, by the time you already see your mental trauma gone, like never before. I mean, like if you stretch it out for the price, it's like 1 year. $1.09 per day. Your mind will reset itself in 6 hours after all the bullying you went through, all the crazy parenting that you've experiencing, and all the events in your life that cause you a downward spiral. Your investment in this system will not only be $1.09 per day if you stretch it out over a year, but obviously, it's a one-time payment up front. That's less than the price of a cup of Tim Hortons coffee. Tim Hortons is our Starbucks in Canada for sweet coffee. I just had the coffee earlier. It's fucking good. But this costs less. 100% satisfaction guarantee. You're like, what the fuck? My mental trauma relief program comes with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. You are pleased with what you get, or I'll make it right guarantee. That means if you don't get rid of at least 80% of your mental trauma in 6 hours, in most cases, most people will get rid of 100%. If it doesn't go down that low, then I'll do it again for half a day, no problem. So you'll get rid of that mental trauma no matter what. You can't lose. You're like, whoa, really? Yeah, that's right. I'll make it right. However, I won't allow those with PTSD headaches or migraines to join because there are some people that has a 24/7 headache, and that's a side effect of PTSD. I will ask beforehand if you have that headache. If you do, don't join. Also, those who have like sexually related abuse problems, maybe you should go to a therapist. Don't come here. But for everyone else who is normal, you can't lose. If I discover how to get rid of your mental trauma in 6 hours, this will change the world. And exposes those therapists that are like RSD people giving you the treatment, not the cure, trying to make more money of all of you, fleecing the sheep. This is about the cure, not the treatment. I'm not allowed to make false promises legally. That's why this will work, because this is not a false promise. This is a real promise. This is a one-of-a-kind program using real psychological methods out there. I'm writing this as a guarantee, so I will make it right if necessary, just in case. But it's most likely you don't need it. So you can't lose. And here's a bonus for a very limited time. For a limited time for clients, I'll include a cheat sheet so you can get rid of your future traumas by yourself. This is not just another worthless piece of document. This tool is more than that because it comes with all the steps I use to get rid of your mental trauma. I'm not even going to sell this as a bonus or a book or a video course. But for today, you're getting it as a bonus. So it'll erase all future mental trauma. So you don't need me anymore with this cheat sheet. This is only available for the first 10 people. Already 2 people joined. So therefore, there's only 8 left. I'm sorry, but after that, you don't get it. I'll erase it. After that, I won't even let you have this bonus. It's so top secret that other psychologists will love to get their hands on it or keep it out of your hands. So you depend on their endless fucking treatments. I create this to help RSD victims so they might get Elite 30 from hard case to hero one day. Or the Asian masculinity movement that doesn't need ABCs of brainwashing, bullshit inner game nonsense, which doesn't remove your anger, trauma. You get all this for free for the first 10 people. So here's some frequently asked questions. All right. This is not part of the bundle. This is a new program. You might think it's too expensive, right? I acknowledge that you think it's expensive, but I think it is cheap if it does what I say and other students say. It is a bargain. It normally costs you $200 per session to set up with a therapist where you have talk therapy. You don't even get to accomplish anything. They just pretend to listen, ask you if that belief is correct. So you become uncertain. Then that will remove the feeling of absolute certainty, one belief at a time. But the problem with that is that there are thousands of beliefs you need to conquer. It is the slowest way to victory, which takes years. That is their intention. I had one student spend $8,000 per psychologist. That was just one. But he went through 3 of them because he gave them authority. If you don't have the money, your money is going to be worth even less in the future. Due to the Let's Go Brandon movement or the zombies in charge because they're creating hyperinflation. So make some investments. This isn't a liability, but an investment. Don't be like that first guy who didn't take the chance. He was an ABCs of low self-esteem guy. Now his pictures, although in the pictures I showed you, looks like he's in his 40s. His newest pic looks like he's fucking 60 years old. Or 70 or something. What the fuck? In 2 years after this pandemic, now it's 2022. He should have just done this. The amount of stress and failures and downward spirals could have been avoided if you just did this. And maybe that's how you feel, like a downward spiral in your life. Listen, my time is worth $300 per hour. So I'm actually losing money by doing this Skype for 6 hours with you. While most of you make like minimum wage, I make averagely $300 USD an hour through Skype. Yes, people actually pays it every single month. So even if it comes with Skypes for the Elite Bundle, they still pay for it because they want their infield analyzed. To them, the $300 for 1 hour of my time is a bargain. You're only paying $400. I know it sounds like it's too good to be true. If it can do what I say it does and what my students say, it's probably worth more than 10 times the amount, man. Which is about $4K, which you would have spent with a therapist. But why is this better than doing nothing at all? Acknowledge it seems cheaper to just do nothing during COVID-19, Omicron. But isn't your life at a downward spiral already? Isn't the mindsets the reason why you keep procrastinating over and over due to a lack of resilience? Doesn't having more mental trauma weigh you down where you soon become depressed? An emotional snowflake cunt who gets triggered, who's stuck in life? I'm just saying that nothing seems to change in your life. If you were my student, you can't even do the homework. You make excuses. You're procrastinating. You look, and look at your face. You can't even move your fucking facial expressions after so much mental trauma. And you have this upside down smile, like a lot of my Indian students. So much mental trauma shows up in your face that women can see it, cock blocking you. You need a hard reset to start all over, since the muscles of your face is connected to your brain, giving you that expression, turning women off. So how many years have you studied psychology, right? You might ask me. I've studied psychology, psychiatry for over 15 years, like a researcher. I've also worked with students who are sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists, autistic, Asperger's, delusional, even schizophrenics as a dating coach for 10 years. How is this different from everything else I've seen? That's what you're thinking. This deal has been sold to. Okay. How is this different? This is different because it's a combination of everything in one. That's the difference. So what's in it for you? That's what you're asking right now. I'm offering you one-on-one coaching as part of this special package that includes the cheat sheet. However, this package is only limited to 10 customers and may not be available anymore. Please check out the offer section for more details. This is important since you can get rid of your mental traumas forever without needing my help again. I'm not here to make you dependent. I'm giving you the cure. How do I know this is real? I acknowledge your skepticism, but it worked for one student, worked for me. Until I get more testimonials, it'll work for you too. I have some of the worst trauma that is hard to get rid of with the traditional methods like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, EMDR, which is EMDR. So what does EMDR stand for? Eye movement desensitization reprocessing. But it works for me. I mean, but if this works for me, I'll never think of my traumas again. It'll work for you. I started with a bet with another student, although he still has his PTSD headaches. But regardless of that, all his traumas were erased. I realized so many people can use this technology. Also, there's a little bit of REBT, rational emotive behavioral therapy. But that is only 3 of the 7 steps. So can you really do this in 6 hours, you ask? Is it possible, or is this science fiction? I acknowledge that it might seem fast, especially if you need years of therapy to get rid of your trauma. You would have spent at least 48 hours a year, 6. Okay, you would have been spending at least, about 48 hours a year. When you think about it, from all these years, every single week, 48 hours. 6 hours seems impossible, I know. But long ago, people thought it was impossible to run a mile in 4 minutes. You know that? Until somebody's done it. Then everyone started doing it, shattering the record. So what about other dating coaches with their time machine, time travel, or inner child meditation bullshit? Like I said, using one technique wouldn't work by itself. Those only face the trauma. Makes you cry, but you won't reprocess all of it from many dimensions, which is logic, okay, for the beliefs. Okay, so basically, you need to get rid of it from your logical side, your beliefs, not just emotionally, but also the visual memory. You're merely just facing it with their methods. You're leaning into it, as they say, but nothing gets reprocessed out of your brain. Mine is based on real psychological principles, but in a specific sequence of 7 steps, which makes it work. So what's holding you back? What's holding you back is the belief that you don't need this. I have a lot of lower SMV students who gets destroyed out there in Daygame doing it their way because they resist. So they get PTSD because they refuse to listen to my instructions during Delta and Omicron. The more the women feels fear, the more masks are up, the more social skills you need because you need to be in the in tribe. But when you're an autistic fuck trying to play a numbers game like RSD victim, you get rejected as part of the out tribe with your gaming tactics and your flirting and your romance and your mental bullshit of numbers game. So who's to blame? RSD is the first one to be blamed, since a lot of RSD victims are there secretly for therapy using Daygame as a vehicle. Second is ABCs of low self-esteem. They are to blame because they're trying to use this Asian inner game bullshit to brainwash you, not fixing the issue. Third, all the therapists that you've been through, it didn't work. They only talk about the treatment, not the cure. They waste all your money year after year on purpose. They're all fleecing the sheeps, and you fell for it. I wanted to end all that. Is this stuff confidential, John, or will you talk about on your blog? It's completely confidential. No identifiable information would be mentioned. I will only mention you got over your mental trauma and keep it vague. If you don't want me talking about it, I won't. The only thing I ask of this deal is that you make a video testimonial. That's it. Yes, Indians go through a lot of trauma. Oh, shit. The Indian students go through the most trauma. Holy shit. It's like their entire fucking family is crazy. Like, it's not just their family. It's like the relatives are crazy too. Like, everyone is like fucking dark triad or dark tetrad. Sociopaths. No joke. Because I do have Indian students that have been through this. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. Like, they even go through more abuse than the Asians. No joke. So that's why they get triggered. That's why it's so hard for them to actually do any homework for elite access. Because they don't have the resilience anymore. Too much mental trauma during Omicron, become Omnicons. But why now? Lots of people had the worst mindset due to Omicron. Or what I call the Omnicons. These people are mentally weak, even weaker than Delta. I see people who are saying one thing, like women, right? Then they're doing the opposite. Women do that. It's not trying to be sexist. Women do say one thing and they do the opposite because what they feel like is different than their logic. But due to a lack of grit or resilience, I've seen it happen too many times. It's unbelievable. People feel helpless, even if Omicron isn't deadly. Why should I trust you, you might ask? I was able to figure out things across different industries like Elon Musk. I figure out how to get bigger for my students in terms of weightlifting, getting them a V-shaped body in 3 weeks. I mean, that's impossible, right? I can get them a body in 3 weeks, which normally takes 3 years without steroids. Also, I could get rid of all of their mental trauma in 6 hours. I'm also the world's best day game coach. My thinking pattern allows me to figure out complex problems that nobody else can figure out. I reason by first principles, not analogy. I don't reason by the past, but the fundamental truths. If we were reasoning by the past, then people would believe that you can't get over your mental trauma unless you take years, if not months on it, which is totally false. It's just like saying, oh yeah, Mystery said this. Let's reason by the past. RSD said this. Fuck that. I reason by first principles. So how does it work? Imagine your brain, when it goes through a mental trauma, you get into a fight, or flight, or freeze mode. Let's say, for example, you were in the military, and a lot of my students are military, by the way. Let's say your friends' heads get blown off in the military. You will freeze up. You couldn't handle the trauma, so you store it in the back of your brain to cope. You avoid the trauma since it brings up feelings of fleeing and running away. What I do is dig out that memory, rebuild the belief, challenge them as you go through the trauma. If you looked at it through an MRI machine, you see that the brain lights up all over the place because it is stress from the post-traumatic stress. What I do is I remove the charge step by step. So it takes hours, not years. Then using my methods will scrub up the memory, erase it, and you cannot access the trauma anymore. That's why it takes 6 hours. It's not like it just happens in 1 hour. It takes 6 hours. It has to go down from 9 out of 10 for distress all the way down to 0. There are 7 methods. So what are the other 4 top secret methods? Some of the methods deals with beliefs like REBT, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. These deal with the belief side of things, which I can rebuild. The EMDR side of things, reprocessing the emotions. No amount of inner child meditation or taking LSD or some time machine bullshit technique will get rid of the trauma. You just face it, but you won't reprocess it. The other things that made up the 7-step methods are top secret, since I don't want to give it away in the secret sauce of how it works. But you would be trauma free. But what if I try to do this EMDR and CBT, REBT myself? So I don't need your program, John. Listen, I see how you might think that. But I am someone who tried to do each individual piece myself. It didn't work. After all these years, I still had the trauma. I've been at it for decades trying to crack the code until I had a bet with a student one day, which forced me to put together this thing piece by piece into this sequence to actually remove the mental trauma. So I was very happy to make that bet because you bet the farm and you won. How is this related to being a PUA, a pickup artist? I acknowledge you might think, well, this is not even related, John. But a lot of my students have been making a lot of excuses during Omicron. I've never seen so many people promising, like, I'll get this done or I'll get this course, John, on Wednesday. You know who you are, Indian guy. Then when I was asking for an update, right, on Wednesday, then they start making excuses, blaming me like it's the end of the world. Oh, no, I'm not making as much money. What the fuck do you ask me for on Wednesday? It's like, I'll buy it for sure on Wednesday, and they ghost you. I've seen students make so many excuses, nonstop, shifting away responsibility. People rarely have any more resilience. They're hanging on by a thread mentally. I've also seen students go through this, and now they have reset everything in their life, and they're approaching again. And it's easy for them. So how do you get started? You fill out the form on this page that I'm reading from. We will talk on WhatsApp to see if you qualify. Fill out what type of mental traumas have you experienced. Bullying, mentally abusive parents, maybe stuff related to Daygame, which made it hard for you to open up emotionally, or excessive rejections, or Asian masculinity anger towards society, the media. The more I know, the more I can see if you qualify for the program. So you ask yourself, what do I have to lose? Listen, you have nothing to lose except your mental trauma. You can do nothing now and be cheap and think, oh, I can live with the trauma, right? Just like the other guy that looks like 60 years old now, when you can barely even do anything during Omicron. You know that. You barely make enough to eat. You live in your parents' house. Since you are poor, you're skillless, your mental bullshit got you to where you are. And you will make approaches with half resilience, don't get me wrong, but without any skills. Like all the other Asian guys, the other Asian guy who's old looking now, it's game over for him. Now he becomes a story for my sales letter I just written. Even though there's some spelling mistakes here and there, I'll fix it. I just wrote it, so. Or you could try to go to therapy yourself and try to fix your mental traumas that way, hoping that it'll go away eventually, even if none of these things have worked out for you, for someone like me. I've been to therapy. Doesn't fucking work. I've been through so many fucking counselors, therapists, psychiatrists. Nobody can fix me because I'm smarter than the fucking psychologist. I start treating him. And they're like, stop treating me, John. It's like, I know it's like, I see through you. It's like, you seen the movie Good Will Hunting? When the guy starts outsmarting every psychologist, that's me. They say, John, you're too smart for your own good. You have very high IQ and you're, and you don't have autism. That's what they said. None of them has diagnosed me with that. So, or you can just fork over $400 and take a small risk, which isn't even a risk. You do something that you've never done before. You get this mental trauma removed once and for all. So you never have to deal with it again. You can finally focus on making money, doing day game with full resiliency, where you can level up your skills doing the homework, practicing from the mirror. The reason why you cannot practice is because it's mentally stressing you out. You cannot handle stress. That's why you can't do the homework. I know, I'm not stupid. The excuses would disappear once and for all. This is truly a limited offer, so sign up now before I don't have enough space for you. In the future, I'll be putting people months on the waiting list. And just in case you're one of those people who likes to skip to the end of this sales letter, I'm giving you my blueprint for the steps that review how to get over your mental trauma, as well as the exact approach I've used to overcome it and build a lifelong solution to your life where you don't even need me anymore for this mental trauma. Plus the entire mental trauma relief program you get for $400. This is a very limited offer because this discounted price will get back to normal in the future once I have more people going through it. Hey, I could have sold this to militaries for PTSD or licensed it out to other psychologists. But there is no catch to this offer. You will not be signing up for any trial or some monthly program or anything like that. In fact, if it doesn't work to get rid of 80% or 100% of your mental trauma, I'll redo it again for another 3 hours. It'll knock it out of the fucking park. So it's not a problem. But all right, now is the time. There is literally nothing else on the planet that will take you by the hand and show you the exact steps you need to take to process your mental trauma or PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, away forever, and even maintain your mind, even if you have new mental trauma. But you have to act now. So to get started, right, you should fill up the form. When you click on the link, it'll go right to this sales page, which I'm going to pin up there for the online coaching now because this sales letter is converting. So don't be like, don't be like me and spend so much on therapy. When I was younger, I spent a lot of money going to therapists, counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists. Nothing really helped at all. They're all clueless. I wish I had this kind of service before. I would have saved so much money. I had so much mental trauma growing up. I even been in a car accident where I couldn't get behind the wheel. Just a few days ago, I applied this to myself for 6 hours. I couldn't even access that trauma or the car accident or feel it. I've been hit by an Indian guy. And my car was spinning and it fucked up my neck. And I was scared because I always think I'm going to crash in this stuff. It's gone. It's like discovering fire. It's gone. Don't be like that person, like me, thinking you don't need it, even if you do. Even if it's ruining your life, and change your destiny today. Do you know the saying, in the moments of decision, your destiny is shaped? What will you decide right now? The same things you've been doing, so once you get all the old results, or will you decide to change your results for the better once and for all? You could do nothing. Be cheap. Then live with your trauma, which is all written all over your face. Or go to a therapist, charging thousands of dollars, taking years for their so-called process, since they only specialize in one of the 7 methods I use, like cognitive behavioral therapy, talk therapy, which will take you years. Or you can fix it here in 1 day, 6 hours, like surgery. Let me cut out the mental tumor. And you can finally smile again and then naturally attract women. Your old mental trauma is a thing of the past. You can't even access it anymore. The memory is wiped out for good, even the emotions related to it. So, of course, a disclaimer. Please understand, my results or my student results I'm sharing with you are not typical. I'm not implying you all will duplicate it or anything like that for that matter, but I will have the benefit of practicing studying psychology for 15 years, researching and applying it, and have the advanced abilities as a result. Your results will vary, depends on many factors, including it's not limited to your background, experience, and work ethics. All business entails risk, as well as massive and constant effort and action. But if you're not willing to accept that, please do not get my mental trauma relief program. With that being said, let me jump in and show you. P.S. This actually works. as well as I said it does. I should win a Nobel Peace Prize for this. So I'm going to start here for POAs first. I've discovered something big. So take a chance in life. This works after all of these years of trying to figure it out. I've also been testing out, So yeah, that's why I wrote the sales letter to see which one works the best. That's all I got to say for you guys. I'm going to put in a link. How about the magic? Oh, no. That's exactly what another Indian student used. Fucking magic mushrooms and fucking tripping with psychedelics. That only makes you like, it changes your personality. It makes you face weird shit. You mentally just make up mental bullshit. Like, oh, I'm being healed right now. I'm getting a peak state. It's all bullshit. It's just RSD victims that lacking resilience. Always looking for that trip. All Indians love LSD. Indians love mushrooms. Indians love to trip because they have no resilience. How you deal with last minute resistance is more like objection. I don't want to talk about it here. But it's kind of like objections dealing, looping, and all that stuff. But that's all I'm gonna say, because if you talk about that stuff, they'll come after you. They just say that they'll try to cancel you. So that's the program. So you guys should take it. This is brand new. I just discovered it. It works. It's like you discover the cure to cancer, metaphorically speaking. It's like you discovered, like the cure for HIV, metaphorically speaking. It's like that big, man. This would change the entire fucking world. Eventually, one day, psychologists will start to debate me, and they'll come after me. But until that happens, I'm going to cure as many people as possible. Just make a video testimonial after 2 days when you process this stuff. It's going to be amazing, man. Johnny Lee is going to take on the psychologist. You wasted all of our money all these years, including mine, including my students. Not anymore. I hate it when people fleece the sheeps. Why will you do this? Because you want them on the fucking treatment for years. Nobody likes the cure. They want the treatment. Not anymore. Not on my watch. Team Humanity. Johnny Lee out.